Yo, don't forget to support WrestleTalk. And don't forget to give us a subscribe.
Support WrestleTalk!
What can The Undertaker do at WrestleMania 35? I'm Ollie Davis. This is Luke Owen. Welcome to the magazine edition of the WrestleRamble, where we have an 18-match card at WrestleMania. 18 matches. We have the matches here that Dave Meltzer has reported on the Wrestling Observer Radio. Please reel them off. We'll go one by one in turn.
Fun little fact for you as well, because this has been brought up on our Discord channel. Our American contingent do not understand what a magazine show is.
Okay.
It's a British thing, apparently.
So it's a show where there's different segments about stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than here's the Raw review and we just talk about Raw for ages. It's a little bit of everything, like a magazine. Here's a feature here, a news article here, some opinion here.
Yes.
That's it.
It's like The Word.
I don't know what that is.
It's a brilliant magazine show
So
from the 90s.
kick us off. Let's start from the top.
This is the WrestleMania card as of right now. So we're going to get to a point where matches are unconfirmed, but we know the direction we're heading. So we've got Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar, The Miz versus Shane McMahon, Batista versus Triple H, AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio, Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese, and Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. So those ones are confirmed.
Yeah.
Although the Baron Corbin match may not happen according to WrestleVotes.
Yeah, so Justin the Bar initially said that it's a swerve. Then Wrestling Observer and PW Insider, two very reliable sources, both said, no, that's actually the plan. And then WrestleVotes on Thursday said...
so it was the plan. WWE did not expect this level of backlash.
They didn't expect Angle's retirement match being against Baron Corbin as being anything of an issue.
Yeah.
That is how little, WWE thinks of Angle.
Yeah, no. So they didn't expect this to get the level of backlash that it got. So they may now be reassessing their plans and possibly changing things, which wouldn't be the first time for this WrestleMania card. So here are the match. Oh, and the other one we've got confirmed is Asuka will face someone. She is going to face either Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Naomi, or Carmella, which will be decided on SmackDown this week. But with SmackDown's track record as of late, it'll probably end up being a tag match and not on the show at all. So we'll wait and see on that one. But apparently she is defending her title at WrestleMania.
Mandy Rose is particularly susceptible, and Naomi, to matches being announced for SmackDown and then not happening at all.
Absolutely. So we got that one. We've also got Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, which will probably be announced on Monday, and Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston, which will likely be announced on Tuesday. That leaves us with...
That's enough, isn't it? That's already quite a lot of matches.
Oh, no, I've got a few more yet. So John Cena is going to be having a match. That's what the report is, but they haven't decided on who that is going to be yet.
2 weeks out.
Yeah, they haven't decided.
We are 2 episodes of TV for each Raw and SmackDown away from Mania.
Yeah, and as Dave Meltzer noted in The Observer, it's not even like hints have been dropped. Aside from R-Truth, so unless it's Cena R-Truth...
Hints have been dropped. Samoa Joe, R-Truth.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Kurt
Yeah.
Angle. I don't know if that's canon because it was a backstage WWE article.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot we did that Samoa Joe one, didn't we? Meltzer also said that he has been told the Usos will be having a match. Which
makes sense.
Which will likely be a multi-person match, he reckons, with the Hardys, the Bar, possibly Sanity, possibly... the other
Gallows
two.
and Anderson.
No, Woods and Big E, more likely. Bayley and Sasha Banks will probably have their tag titles defended as well, likely, again, in a multi-women match. Divas of Doom, Nia Jax, Tamina, and the Iconics. And we have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which Braun Strowman confirmed on last Monday's Raw. And the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, though not advertised, is going to happen.
Right.
So that takes us to 16. And the rumor was it was going to be a 17-match card. However, Meltzer has also said there are 2 other matches that are also being talked about, one of which has been set up for the past few weeks, which is Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor for the IC title, likely with Finn coming out as the Demon, because that's been a lot of all over the kind of WrestleMania advertisements as of late. And the Revival versus Aleister Black and Ricochet for the Raw tag titles, which will take us up to 18 matches, and that does not include Alexa Bliss segment, it does not include SNL segment, it does not include the Elias performance, and that does not include a possible Undertaker appearance.
Yeah, so the reasons behind this Undertaker appearance as of a few months ago, there were no plans in place for The Undertaker to appear at Mania because he's retired about 14 times already. But it's quite significant because this would be the first time in almost 2 decades that Undertaker hasn't wrestled on a WrestleMania show. So he's wrestled on every WrestleMania since 2001, I believe. He featured on WrestleMania 2000. I think he appeared, but he didn't wrestle.
No, he wasn't there at that point.
Okay,
he came back at SummerSlam.
Sure.
Was it SummerSlam? The Iron Man match.
We're here. Was it? What was that?
Yeah, we're here.
We're here.
Are you scared?
So this is momentous that The Undertaker wasn't going to be there. And we all thought, hey, The Undertaker's finally rode off into the sunset. He's just going to make a living now with ridiculously expensive signings.
Oh, and they are pricey. They are pricey.
Like $200 a signing. Now, you've got to understand that's not Undertaker saying that. That's the venues having to charge that much because I think Meltzer quoted $30,000 an hour, and you get a discount if you book him for 2 hours.
Oh, cool, a discount. Good times.
Dead cheap prices. You could set up. And it seemed like that's what he was destined to do until one of those convention signings turned out to be Starrcast 2, which is AEW's sort of partner convention, run by different companies, different people, but they are very much affiliated.
Yeah, it's Conrad Thompson of the Something to Wrestle 83 Weeks, the one he does with Tony Schiavone. It's his thing, it's his convention, but yeah, Conrad Thompson is affiliated with AEW. He's been on both of their live streams they've done thus far. So yeah, I think he's very, the two are very linked together.
Yeah, Starrcast was birthed when All In was birthed.
Yes.
It was the same weekend in September 1st last year, over that September weekend. Now, Undertaker, appearing for that, reportedly, Vince doesn't know the difference between these two. And, even if he did know the difference, I would empathize with him being suspicious of The Undertaker appearing on what is an AEW style event. I get that.
And he's very protective of the character. It's a character that, he created. It's a character that he made a lot of money from for 30 odd years. It's a character that is very associated with WWE. He was a character that I thought would never appear outside of a WWE thing.
Yeah. And apparently Vince wanted Taker to come back. And he was saying, look, if you drop the Starrcast thing, we'll let you have a match at WrestleMania. He's still appearing at Starrcast, but whatever's happened, Taker, talks are in place for Taker to come back. And this week, there was a production truck. This was reported by Wrestling Inc., and a picture was shown of it. A production truck at Raw that had the WrestleMania 35 logo, and it had the Demon Finn Balor, had some other people, and there was The Undertaker.
Yes.
And it wasn't like a big graphic with loads of stars on. It was only like 4 people, and The Undertaker was one of those. So that's the first hint. The second hint is on Michelle McCool's Instagram story, which I had to use my girlfriend's account to look at.
Yeah, I was trying to get to an Instagram story today because Stephanie Patrice of Brooklyn Nine-Nine had posted up a video where she was stuck in traffic behind Lana doing a photo shoot in the middle of the road, and I had zero clue how to get to this thing. I could not find it for love nor money. Turns out I've got an Instagram account.
No way.
I had no idea.
You're on the gram.
Apparently so, because I went to Instagram and I was like, I'll just create an account now. And then I clicked it, and lo and behold, there was an account already there.
Was it a fake account?
No, it was me.
There's a lot of fake.
It was under my
fake Lukes lurking around.
Of course there are. It was under my when I was in a band.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know. So it was a while ago.
So Michelle McCool posted this picture of The Undertaker playing what looked like Uno.
It was Uno
with his daughter, which is sweet, but I don't need that. I don't want. Talk about Ronda Rousey exposing the business. What happens? You think he's just about to lose, and then he sits up and plays this killer hand where he lays every single card down in a
reverse the momentum.
Yeah. And he had dyed black hair or dark brown.
Yeah. So because this was in your news, and I thought to myself, well, he is doing Starrcast, so maybe and he's doing the Inside the Ropes tour as well. So
that's a good point. That in conjunction with the advertisement, though.
But just to, I'm going to put my hand up here for podcast listeners. Got my hand
yes.
raised. This is also the company that advertised John Cena for the Royal Rumble up until the show itself.
That is a very fair point. Anyway, all this Undertaker stuff. If he is going to feature on WrestleMania, we're 10 minutes in now. We're finally getting, after all the context has been laid out, it's like listening to a Dan Carlin podcast.
Or a Mark Maron one.
Yeah.
Don't want to hear about your barbecues, Mark.
Where could Undertaker feature? Where the hell could he fit into this 18-match, multiple entertainment segments, possibly 8-hour show?
8-hour show, including pre-show. 8 hours, mate.
So that's a two-hour pre-show, I think, with a bunch of matches on and a bunch of social media lounge segments.
Yep.
And then a 6-hour main card.
Yeah.
I was thinking, because we're live now, we did the NXT Live Ramble on Thursday, and the aim is to do a Live Ramble for the Raw, SmackDown, and NXT Rambles every week going forward. I was thinking, hey, maybe we could live stream WrestleMania or a watch-along. And now I don't know if I could do that.
I said this in my news yesterday. I was like, thanks everyone for joining us on the stream. Thank you so much for watching. We are planning on doing a WrestleMania live stream as well, but it is just a plan at the moment. Nothing is confirmed. It will be a very long show.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to see everyone watch me break. It'd just be,
because to put this in perspective, that means it will start at 10 p.m. on a Sunday, and it will end at 6 a.m. the following Monday.
You mean start at 10 p.m. on a Sunday?
What did I say?
Oh, yeah, I think you did say that.
Yeah.
I just heard Monday. I was like, it's not 7 days long, is it?
It could be.
If they,
at this point.
Get everyone on the card.
Because it's not like The Undertaker has got a short entrance.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's 20 minutes right there.
Ross Twaddell, when he had to watch 10 hours of broken Matt Hardy laughing, that part of that is the time, the endurance to watch that. It's going to be the same WWE match for 8 hours.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't WrestleMania 20, which has a very varied structure to its card, which we're watching at the moment. I thought it was very good. So where can Undertaker go?
So, at the moment, Undertaker is... Well, let's not say he's being advertised for Mania. He's on production trucks, but as I said, so was John Cena for Royal Rumble stuff, so could mean nothing.
Yeah.
Meltzer did write in the Observer, look at me again, bringing up Meltzer, comments love it when I do that, said that whatever issues there are with The Undertaker doing StarCast may not have been settled, but they are not strong enough to keep The Undertaker off the Saudi Arabia show. So the way Meltzer puts it is that it's still unlikely that Undertaker will be at Mania, but he is going to be at the Saudi show, which is on 3rd of May.
Yes, which makes me think that any Undertaker appearance at Mania, if it does happen, would be to set up that match in the Saudi Arabia show.
Kind of like how he had the Cena match to set up that Rusev casket match at Greatest Royal Rumble.
Completely the same. So talking of John Cena, in that list of things you had written, that Meltzer had said,
which I also wrote down,
John Cena versus ? Vacant currently. Now, I think in an ideal world, you'll just move John Cena to the Kurt Angle match, drop Baron Corbin. If for some insane reason that doesn't happen, I think there is a storyline there of an Undertaker John Cena rematch off of last year. It's not a match I want to see, and if I did want to, even if you were going to put it on, you need to make a build to that again. Like, John Cena needs to go, I am ready this time. Or maybe he just turns up at the frickin' event and says, last year, you just showed up. Now I'm showing up. I'm ready. I've been training for you. But then that sets the expectation of at least a 5-10 minute match, which I don't think those two guys can put on.
No, they would need a lot longer, I would say, to tell a story, because otherwise you end up with the match we got last year, which was more or less a squash match, and everyone hated it.
Well, Taker didn't take a bump.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I thought it was fun.
Well, I didn't hate it because I thought it was setting up a match for this year, but
Yes.
I'm a fool, apparently.
Well, maybe it does.
Maybe it does. They just forgot about it. Kind of like the Kurt Angle thing. They started a storyline, then forgot about it, and then were like, and now it's here again. Could be just that again. We got 2 weeks.
So the other thing is, I'm really clutching at straws here. Triple H versus Batista. They both have a history with The Undertaker, but I don't think Batista's going to Saudi Arabia. And even WWE, I don't think would put on a second Undertaker Triple H match after promoting it as the last time ever in October with Super Showdown.
Yeah, it was the last time ever. That was the last time ever.
It was
match,
very
wasn't it?
definitely the last time ever.
Oh, it was just going to be those
Again.
two. Yeah. I was going to say, I thought Crown Jewel was like the last time ever, but that was the tag.
That was Shawn Michaels coming out.
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
time.
no, I forgot which were the stipulations it was.
That's the one, but I don't think Shawn Michaels would come back.
No.
Like the Crown Jewel thing really seemed to sour him.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Any like it's insane that Shawn Michaels returned to wrestling last year, and it is but a footnote.
Yeah, right.
In wrestling history.
And the idea was that Shawn was going to get the wrestling bug again. That was what they hoped, was that he'd get back in the ring and would want to do more matches, because they were going to do Michaels Undertaker at Survivor Series, and then that would then build to more WrestleMania matches down the line. My idea would be to still do Corbin Angle all the way up until the show itself, and then as Corbin is making his entrance, bong, lights come out, and it's the Deadman instead, and you do Undertaker Angle as his farewell match. It's not like the two are intrinsically tied together in terms of their, but that feels like a much bigger match for Angle's farewell than Baron Corbin.
I think there's something about all those guys in the 2000 to 2002 period where they are quite intrinsically linked in my
suppose,
mind.
yeah.
Like Undertaker and Angle, that Armageddon match, and they have feuded and clashed over the years.
The match where Angle nipped out and Eric Angle got in. Do you remember that one?
No, I don't.
Yeah, it was one. Eric Angle came in and Undertaker pinned Eric Angle.
Hilarious. But there are more apt opponents for Angle, but I wouldn't be against the Taker one. I've also written down here because WrestleVote said that Finn Balor lost the Intercontinental title because WWE have bigger plans for him, which would suggest not the Intercontinental title winning it back from Bobby Lashley. And that's what Meltzer's reporting here, that it's Balor versus Lashley, but Balor's as the Demon this time. Now, Balor as the Demon versus the Undertaker, that's been something people have fantasy booked for years.
Much more interesting.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's 2 weeks out. I don't know how you can build that. And even if you do build it, how are you going to put on that match? Because the Demon's got to win.
Yeah.
And The Undertaker won't get a chance to have a good showing because I don't think he's able to wrestle that kind of match in a singles match.
Lest we forget the Roman Reigns match from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And, Crown Jewel and Super Showdown.
Yeah, and I've just written down Brock as well.
Interference, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Paul Heyman interferes, but it's Taker interfering on Seth's behalf. There's a symmetry there with how Brock ended Taker's streak. I don't know.
I feel like at the moment we're very much clutching at straws because I think this card is so full. The last thing you need is to either add another match or add in a random Undertaker appearance, because it's not like it'll add to anything. Like, it'll be a moment, I guess, but maybe I like just things to kind of set up and pay off. Maybe that's what I'm kind of looking for here.
The more I think about it, the more you're not going to have any more. Like, you're right, you can't put in another segment in this card. It's too stacked already. So you just use him as an angle within a pre-existing match. I mean, I don't want to see him interrupt an Elias performance. I think that would be a terrible use of him. But a Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker match at Saudi Arabia, I can see that happening.
Yeah, that's
most
true.
likely.
Yeah,
and that's
very
the
true.
sort of match that you can do in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it protects everyone, and then Lesnar's off, presumably, hopefully, Taker's off.
Pure question marks there.
And you get the belt on Seth, and then it's a new chapter, and we can finally start anew after the Lesnar reign of terror. That's the only way I can see it working.
It is the only way, aside from, as I said, the Kurt Angle thing, which I think would be quite good, or, as you say, the John Cena thing, a kind of an open challenge from Cena. And I suppose, it's the sort of match that you can advertise John Cena versus The Undertaker. That'll feel big time. It hasn't had, it'll only have 2 weeks worth of build, but it will still feel fairly big time. It's disappointing that you could have actually built it fully.
Yeah.
But then again, like, I don't think they built the last match particularly well either, because it was great, but they've never felt like it had a pants payoff.
Yeah, it was the opening chapter of a
larger
larger
story.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought the opening chapter was
very,
great.
very good opening chapter.
But it had
yeah,
nothing else after.
Had no
that.
payoff.
Yeah. Well, what do you think the Undertaker's gonna do at WrestleMania? If he's gonna turn up at all, let us know in the comments, and we'll get on to some crap gimmicks.
If you're wondering to yourself, what the heck is a crap gimmick? Well, that's a segment we do here each and every Saturday on the WrestleRamble, where you, the Swaff Nation, send to us your crap gimmicks, and then we, the owners and promoters of Crap Gimmick Wrestling, decide whether we want to sign them or not. The way that this works is you email me, luke@WrestleTalk.com. One more time, luke@WrestleTalk.com, and then I will go through the furthest one back, which is still around August last year, because we've got a massive backlog of them, and then I pick them out at random, with one from 2019.
Ooh,
not just 2019, March 2019.
What? That's practically today.
I know, right? I thought I'd change it up a little bit. So this one comes in from Jamie Alsop, who suggests on August 16th, Lotso Knowledge. He's called that because he has a large amount of pop culture knowledge. This is a large, well-built athletic wrestler. Instead of using genuine wrestling moves, however, he uses fighting techniques from films and TV shows he's seen. As an example, he will use the boxing technique Homer Simpson used, which just involved getting hit until they get tired, because Homer got a title shot by doing that.
I mean,
He will often lose due to these crap gimmicks being crap, even though if he'd wrestled normally, he'd probably win.
I was just going to jump in and say that's not a Homer Simpson invented tactic.
No.
It's quite famously the rope-a-dope tactic from Muhammad Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle.
Yes. But it was funny with Homer because he's just standing there and
Yeah. Okay, carry on though.
I think that's probably what he's going for.
I'm hoping Jamie knows that. I think I'm going to give you the credit, the benefit of the doubt. The credit of the doubt.
The credit of the doubt.
The credit of the doubt.
I love credits of doubt.
Yeah. And I'm going to say that you knew that, and you're intentionally writing that as a sort of trolly, sarcastic thing that has been lost in the medium of text emails.
Mm-hmm. He adds, when he copies a character, he acts like them and uses their catchphrases and even dressed like them. If he wins as that character, he increasingly becomes more like them. If he loses, though, he changes the gimmick. Even if he kept winning as the other character, he has to cheat to lose. This is because he blames the gimmick regardless on losses and thinks that the right one will eventually win him a world title.
I like this. It kind of reminds me of a brilliant crap gimmick that happened in WWE when Curtis Axel and Damien Sandow went through WWE Legends. So they were dressed up as Hulk Hogan.
The Meta Powers.
The Meta Powers. Which was, had a very, very limited shelf life. But it was funny. And Damien Sandow, you give that man anything and he will turn it into gold.
He was the only person who could have made Mizdow work.
I know, the stunt double for The Miz in the matches, and he got so over. Why WWE let that man go, I have no idea. Not the greatest wrestler in the world, but in terms of getting over and connecting with the audience, he's really something special, and nobody really talks about him anymore, because he didn't go on... Well,
Exactly.
He said he was going to reinvent the way wrestling works in TNA, and I got suckered into believing him.
He's one of 4 people, I believe, to fail to cash in Money in the Bank.
John Cena.
Yeah, he, Baron, Cena, and Braun.
Braun.
It was last year at Hell in a Cell.
They booked that well.
Oh, yeah.
Because
so well.
handed in the briefcase in advance doesn't make me think of that as a briefcase loss.
Well, there were some people who thought he still had the briefcase.
No. There was definitely a segment where he handed over the briefcase and said, "The Saudi Arabia match is for the briefcase."
No, it was the Hell in a Cell match was with the briefcase against Roman Reigns. The one where Brock Lesnar came down and we got a no contest inside a Hell in a Cell match.
Okay. Well, I can't remember multiple
That's
facets of this
how
story.
good a story it was.
So I like the idea of running through different characters and seeing what works, and it's an easy way to get pops from the crap audience. But I don't know how much attention I've got for a character whose character is that he plays other characters. Mm-hmm. So I'm not loving it.
Okay, well, hopefully Connor Davis Davison, do apologize. Connor Davison, the son of Davis, Davis' son, sent in on September 30th. I am losing all of my words at the moment. Hey, lads, you can't have a crap gimmick wrestling federation without a crap referee. Jeff Ari is a proper lovely old man that failed at wrestling and turned into a ref because he couldn't pass the test needed as a result of him not knowing what the numbers from 1 to 10 are. Basically, he knows the numbers, he just doesn't know what order they go in. He decided to try out for a referee and now loves what he does and is sure to be sticking to all the referee rules. Although having him referee a match can be quite difficult for the wrestlers to work with, because if you go out of the ring and he begins a count, you need to be in there before 10 or you'll lose, and you have no idea when the 10 will be said. Could be the 3rd number, it could be the 8th number. When it comes to pins, it gets even worse, because the first number could be 3, and as soon as the 3 is counted, the match is over. Heels would want to be angry and attack Jeff because he reminds them of all their granddads. They either continue the match or accept the result and sulk off. Love the channel for years, it's great to see the growth. Keep going, keeping up with the consistency. Consistency.
I like this gimmick. I think that referees should be a larger part in telling stories in wrestling anyway. And I think usually I want to respect the referee. I want them to really enforce stuff and not make them look stupid. However, this is a great way to use a referee. I assume he's a super babyface referee.
Oh,
because
you'd have to
everyone
be.
loves him.
Yeah, he's a lovely old man.
Really affable. And yeah, it's just, I don't know if I like the idea that he doesn't know when the number is coming. Because I think that mocks some form of dyslexia. Mm-hmm. But I do like the idea that he just gets a little bit confused sometimes.
Forgets what number he got to.
Yeah, so he goes 1, 2, well, hey, that's it.
Yeah.
So he doesn't count the 3, but in his head it's 3. Mm-hmm. And so he just makes mistakes more than that he's got
cute
this.
Mistakes.
Yeah, cute mistakes. And, maybe those mistakes could come usually at the advantage of the babyface. Mm-hmm. That's a nice booking crutch to have.
Yeah, or it could even come at the advantage of a heel, and then he feels very bad about it because he's screwed a babyface over.
Yeah.
Then he has to go on a bit of a redemption storyline with that character.
Also, it reminds me of something that I hate now, but was one of my favorite things to do at independent wrestling shows between the years 2011 through to 2014.
When you were going to Progress.
Before it was cool. Where we were all pricks. And what you would do, the referee would count 1, and then everyone would go in a count-outs when people are on the outside, and the whole audience would shout 2. So that makes the referee want to say 3. And honestly, we did it every match for months. And it wasn't, it wasn't Craig Roberts, who's the guy who referees... Chris Roberts, who referees everything in Britain.
Bloody lovely
it was
Roberts.
It was their other referee. I can't remember his name, unfortunately. He was good, though. But he just got suckered in at 7, 6, 7, 8. And then everyone, because this had been building for a best part of a year. And we finally did it to a referee. Everyone went crazy. It hasn't left that referee wherever he goes. It's just... he sort of has to apologize when he gets in the ring.
Yeah.
Poor Chris Roberts.
Oh.
Once said 2. So I don't know. You still get it if he's refereeing a match. Someone will go 2 in the crowd because his voice broke when he was counting.
Roberts, do your job.
Yeah.
Do your job. Roberts,
Sorry,
do your job. Anyway, so this one comes in from Flip Hansen on March 13th. That was 9 days ago.
Wow.
9. That's how we are so up to date now.
Flip Hansen sounds like the actual submission.
Well, we'll come to this.
Flip Handsome.
Oh, Flip Handsome. Flip Handsome. Greetings to the Wonder One, the fake one, and the other one, but not the Randy one. Hope you're all well. Before I get into my crap gimmick suggestion, I'd like to give you a short bit of backstory behind it. The gimmick has been an idea of mine for a few years now and has become a joke between me and my friends. The laughter to it is absurdity has helped me through some of the darkest parts of my life. If I ever become a wrestler, this would for sure be my gimmick because there's already too many wrestlers called Flip. So here goes. His name is Big Willie, a heavy-set yet agile, stereotypical Scottish lad who fancies himself to be more attractive than he actually is. It's a bit like Fat Bastard from Austin Powers. It's my sexy body. Willie wears a skimpy blue singlet complete with the white cross on his back, in case people forget what country he's from, and Big Willie painted over his nether ranges. He saunters to the ring to a discount Barry White song, gyrating his hips, and uses baby oil to add shine to his ginger body hair. His finisher is a running powerbomb that he calls the panty dropper, and occasionally hits a moonsault, which he calls the Willie salt. He goes toe-to-toe with the best on the mic with his catchphrases, "Take off your trousers," and "Get this Willie." Keep up the great work, lads. Thanks for all you do for the Swaff Nation. Lots of love, Flip Hansen.
It is Fat Bastard.
It's Fat Bastard, yeah.
I'm because Flip there said that this has been an idea of his for a few years. It's got him through some dark times. I'm now worried that he doesn't know Austin Powers exists.
In particular, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
This has happened. Yeah. It's in the excuse me, introduced in the second Austin Powers movie. This happened to my friend at school. He came in one day. We were in a band, and he said, "Hey, check out this riff that I've been working on." And he played it, and we were like, "You just wrote U2's City of Blinding Lights." And he was like, "Oh no!" And he thought like he knew the song, he just but forgot it existed.
Yeah.
He thought it was his own. But that was a devastating moment because he thought he had written a hit. So
Yeah. Actually happened in a band that I was in school as well. Our lead singer had written this song. He was very, very proud of it. It was called Ethereal Flame. I remember it now because we played it. We actually continued playing this despite the fact that it was very clearly ripped off from something else, or at least it sounded a lot like something else. But I was like, the bass line was like doom, 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 doom. And I always went, "Summer loving."
Yeah, it's
happens
Grease.
so fast. And he was like, "Oh, God damn it, I wrote Grease."
hey, that's probably the perfect segue. Who wants to come to Ollie's late birthday party? I'm inviting Luke. It's a Grease sing-along at the Prince Charles. I think it's late April because I can't drink because of the marathon. Mm-hmm. My birthday's next Friday, so it's going to be a month late birthday party.
Is it a weekend or is it a weekday?
It's a Friday night.
Oh, excellent time to go for a nice sing-along.
Yeah, drink yourself silly, and then you've got 2 days to recover.
Absolutely. So anyway, Big Willie...
Yeah, sorry, Flip, but that is the Fat Bastard from Austin Powers. I feel bad for telling you that.
I also hope that you yourself are Scottish.
Yeah. Yeah, otherwise it's...
Yeah.
I'm worried that your friends think it's a joke because you don't know it's Austin Powers' Fat Bastard.
Or it could just be, bearing in mind that The Spy Who Shagged Me came out in 2000, 2001. Mm-hmm. That was 18 years ago. So there is every chance that, the Flip here is under the age of 18 and just it was not part of their pop cultural lexicon. Because let's be honest, it's not like Austin Powers survived pop culture. It does to us because we were like teenagers when that came around. But it's not like there are still people going around going like, groovy, baby. No one's doing that anymore. Like it didn't grow up a generation.
I'm going to bring it back. I think that it's got to be Connor Davidson's ref.
Yeah,
baby.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, I think that's really groovy, baby. Let's sign him.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. I don't think sorry to cut you off. I think that's going to look so awkward. Us saying, yeah,
baby. Yeah.
Like playing it. It's like my dad doing it.
Oh yeah, totally. Like back in 1999 when your parents would sort of like, this is culturally relevant to the moment, so I'm going to say it.
You're right, it doesn't hold up. The movies are fantastic.
Still funny.
People quoting the movies might not hold up. Oh, but The Billion does.
Yeah, perhaps.
That's objectively funny all the time.
But do people know the scene it's from?
They just think it's a generic evil.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe.
Hit us off with the mailbag.
If you want to submit a question to the mailbag, all you've got to do is become one of our awesome pledge hammers over on Patreon at any dollar amount and leave it in the community section, because if you email me, I will just lose it. I cannot stress this enough. Do not email me. I will just lose it. People still email me. I will lose them and then they won't get read out. I'm very bad at this.
Luke's losing that. Also, go over to Patreon and donate anyway, because we'll have a review of WrestleMania 20 up next week.
We certainly will.
It's going to be too long for you to listen to because we're hypocrites and super serve content.
And the week after that will be Ramble Club, which is where we talk general nonsense and just talk about random topics suggested to by Patreon pledgehammers live.
And this week we are going to...
We actually will do Big Apple
will
Takedown
read
this
the
time.
thing,
Yeah.
the main selling point of it.
Yes. Okay, so I have just remembered that someone did email me as an email. And so I figured as a punishment I shouldn't read it out because they have explicitly ignored all of my rules. Mm-hmm. But he's a long-standing pledgehammer, and he's someone who gets
Roberts,
in touch.
yeah.
No. This was someone who actually emailed me. This comes in from Marcel. I've literally remembered while I'm on air. It comes in from Marcel. Hi, Luke, Ollie, the improver, Laurie, but still not Dandy Rat son. Is it too late for Lars Sullivan? Back when he was in NXT, I was one of his biggest supporters. He had an impressive look that reminded me more of Neanderthal than any other monster heel. I was pretty much looking forward to the huge push that surely awaited him. But now I feel I wouldn't care about it at all with his debut. I feel bad, but is it because of his anxiety attack that would cost him a lot of his menacing aura? Don't get me wrong, I'm hoping he's doing better, but could you still use him as a credible monster? I'm curious about your opinions. Love you as always. Swabian Pasta Guy, Marcel.
That's interesting. So what you're saying there is rather than the video packages coming to nothing and all that was dropped, it's more your backstage knowledge of someone's real-life condition that would stop you believing in them, in their character, which sounds very cynical, but it is... it's probably quite a realistic concern because... that was a huge thing back in the kayfabe days. Like if when Shawn Michaels was famously beaten up by a Marine or something, they fabricated a story where it was 20 Marines.
Yeah.
And like if you were beaten up as a wrestler by a non-wrestler in just a normal fight, there was so much concern that people wouldn't be able to buy into you as a tough guy, as a legit tough guy. You'd expose the business that we're not legitimate shooters. For me, I think fandom has moved on. The kayfabe bubble has burst, so I can invest in people's characters separate to their real-life personas. That doesn't mean I'm saying cool everything fake Ronda Rousey on social media. I'm just saying like I personally wouldn't hold someone's anxiety attacks against them. I'm not saying you are, but even maybe subconsciously. That stops you believing in him as a killer or like as this big Neanderthal brute. I do not think it's too late for Lars. I don't even think it's... which the more concerning question, which is where I thought you were going, I don't even think it's too late for Lars in the WWE officials' eyes.
That's where I was going to go to next, yeah.
Because usually when big plans like this are dropped and it's because of like not just sort of mental issues, but... physical issues. If you get injured a few times, Vince McMahon just gives up on you. Look at Finn Balor.
The Revival,
yeah. So to have this huge program with John Cena dropped because you've had these anxiety attacks and can't show up reportedly, but by all accounts, WWE have handled this very well based on their experience with Mauro Ranallo, and I would hope that they protect him and use him properly going forward and don't turn this as a way to bury him or bring him out as a Funkasaurus kind of gimmick.
Yeah.
Because he's got money written all over him. He's that Braun Strowman size. He's enormous. He's got a great ferocity and just the way he wrestles is so, he moves around and he flails. I love him to bits.
I always love that Mauro Ranallo call. He's a Jack Kirby creation come to life.
Yeah.
What a wonderful way to describe him. Very, very cool. Yeah, I don't think it's possibly too late for Lars, particularly if you kept it as a surprise now, like his debut, as rather than start airing video packages again and kind of hyping it, just having him as a surprise debut, I think might really help him, especially if you insert him into a big match angle.
Maybe he debuts at WrestleMania. John Cena, open challenge, who wants some, come get some.
Yep.
Lars Sullivan finally comes out of his lurking, squashes him.
Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez.
just
Just chuck Undertaker's name everywhere.
Exactly, yeah. Just, one freak accident and away you go. Craig Roberts, as you alluded to earlier, good question, Marcel, by the way. Craig Roberts has asked, which movie produced by WWE Studios is your favourite? Mine is The Marine 6.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of the Marines post the first Marine. It was enough to put me off.
Although I have heard The Marine 6 is the best of them.
You've got to watch Arrow. It gets really good 20 episodes in.
I was that guy because I struggled through the first season of Arrow, going like, God, I hope this goes somewhere eventually. And then I persisted with season 2, and I was like, oh, and actually, yeah, season 2 is quite good, really. And then season 3 was really rubbish, and I was like, God, I wasted so much time for one short run of good TV.
So what are all the WWE Studios movies?
I am going to go to bat for See No Evil and See No Evil 2, those Kane horror movies, particularly the second one with Danielle Harris. I very much enjoyed that. Fighting With My Family is their most successful one today, or at least one of their most successful ones. I actually also really, really liked the the Leprechaun remake that they did. With Dylan Postel, Hornswoggle. It felt a lot like Curse of Chucky in that it kind of took the series back to a real horror-based route, as opposed to being goofy comedy where, Leprechaun in space or Leprechaun back to the hood and things like that. So I really appreciated it taking itself very, very seriously and creating quite a scary monster. So I will go to bat for that, but then they've rebooted it again, so I guess that went nowhere.
I think we can all agree that it's pure country, pure heart.
Obviously.
I haven't seen Fighting With My Family. That's probably the best, but it'd probably be the best movie looking what I've heard about it.
I thought The Condemned was all right.
Condemned was fine. I really liked.
Actually, Oculus was really good.
Call.
Yeah, you liked The Call, didn't you?
The Call was good with Halle Berry.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And David Otunga.
Yeah, WWE went through a period where they didn't put their leads weren't the wrestlers.
Yeah.
They were just
in
bit
the
parts
film,
in the background. And the Cool and Oculus were off the back of that. But for me, it's got to be
Walking Tall. I didn't realize that was a WWE
Walking
Studios
Tall.
movie. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
With The
Absolutely,
Rock.
Walking Tall. That film is ace.
Yeah.
Really, really fun.
Or isn't the rundown actually
That's
called
Welcome to the Jungle here, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that as well. Those are my two titles.
With Sean William Scott.
Which is insane because those are actually number 2 and number 3 of the WWE Studios movies. That's early Rock.
Yeah.
Scorpion King, Rundown, Walking Tall, the first Rock trilogy.
Absolutely. Matthew Muldoon asks, is Braun on his way to becoming 2019's Ryback? Both are physically imposing, have 3-word catchphrases, feed me more, get these hands, and got over, which led to them becoming pushed to the top too early and due to injuries only to lose. I used to be so excited for Braun. Now he's just another mid-carder. He's just someone in the Battle Royal.
It is insane. 2017 Braun on fire.
2018 Braun?
No.
Monster in the Bank?
No, he was already cooling off. Like I
disagree with that.
I get that he was very big, but I found the Nicholas thing funny. But as soon as he tagged with Nicholas at WrestleMania, that was the suffering succotash moment. Mm-hmm. And then it was like same things happened with Becky Lynch this year. As soon as she apologized to the McMahons, that's a suffering succotash moment where it doesn't feel like it right now, but 7-8 months later. It's actually retrospectively the start of a decline. And the decline started there and ended with Braun losing at Crown Jewel.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's like a 7-month period there from April to November. And you're just like, what? Why? I don't just hate you for losing. I hate you for giving us more Brock Lesnar as the champion. We all thought Braun was winning that match. And he should have.
It was Baron Corbin's fault.
He should have won the match.
He absolutely should have won that match. And perhaps I'm looking back at 2018 with rose-tinted glasses because as soon as you said, like, I was like, yeah, but he was still massively over. And then all of a sudden I started thinking, like, that Kevin Owens feud. That bloody Kevin Owens feud where he was the babyface, yet he was acting like a complete tool and a massive bully.
Randomly turned heel.
Yep.
Randomly turned face back.
Yeah, totally. That really killed a lot of his momentum.
War,
yeah.
Randomly thrown together.
You're absolutely right.
2018,
absolutely right.
Terrible year for Braun, and it's gone worse this year.
Yeah.
But he seems to have a great attitude backstage. Ryback, by all accounts, did not have that. So I don't think he'll be relegated to undercarder, pre-show, the pre-show stealer
stuff
that Ryback did. But I think, it's unfortunate. He's a mid-carder now.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach asks, "Hi, Luke, Ollie, El Fakador, and insert insult from Randy Andy here. I just wanted to ask you about the Kofi Kingston angle, particularly the gauntlet match he went through after beating, I think, 5 men. Vince just added Bryan and screwed him. This is an example of Deus Ex Machina for an unfinished story. If Vince could do that, why didn't he just refuse to give Austin the title whenever he won it? Just because a character has the ability to do something doesn't mean you let them do it in the story. Thanks in advance, Zach." Well, that was always a common criticism of the Austin era, was that why didn't Vince just fire him? If you hated him this much, why is he still employed?
Yeah. For me, that's one of the necessary things you have to just get round, because otherwise you'll ask, well, why do they run back after an Irish whip?
Yeah,
It's one of those bits. But I totally get the criticism. I guess for some parts it's usually like there's another authority figure, Linda, working because the answer is just more authority figures.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go a different way. I don't think Bryan is a Deus Ex Machina there because he's very much part of the story.
Yeah.
He's not come out of nowhere there. But you're right, the inconsistencies with Vince and just how authority works in WWE it's never been consistent.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like it's a white noise thing now.
Yeah. Josh the Lock asks, "Hey, Luke, Ollie, El Fagador, and Chopper. With all these multi-women matches, are we to presume no women's WrestleMania or not Moolah Battle Royal? There's no mention of it, so I wonder what you guys thought. Thanks in advance." Well, reportedly there is going to be one, they just haven't announced it yet.
Yeah, and it raises the interesting question of who's going to be in it.
Well, everyone else.
Yeah, but you've got a lot of people you've got 8 women in the tag match, 3 in the main event, and then 2 for the SmackDown. That's 13 people right there. Mm-hmm. How much of a women's division do you have outside that? Not
Dana
many
Brooke.
stars. Yeah, there's no stars there. Sure, you've got
Naomi?
bodies. No, yeah. Well,
I don't think Naomi might get the match with Asuka, I suppose. I'd have
Naomi-
liked that, considering they used to be tag partners last year. I'd have liked that to have been a storyline, but hey ho. NXT call-ups. There was 5 or 6 NXT call-ups last year, wasn't there? 'Cause you had Taya Conti in there, and the really tall Indian lady. I forget what her name is now.
yeah. But you also had Banks, Bailey, Nia Jax, all those people that are now consumed by the tag match.
Well, but I'd much rather them be featured in actual matches as opposed to just being bodies within the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
So I don't mind. So I
don't.
don't mind the Battle Royal just being filled with Lana and other people.
Filled with Lana.
Just filled with Lana.
Fill it up with Lana.
All the Lanas. Dan the Man asks, your top 5 best promos in WWE. For him, it's Rock, Punk, Austin, Cena, and Mankind. Keep up the great work. You are consistently consistent and awesome. Thumbs up emoji.
Yep, of course, Rock, Punk,
Austin. Yep, Mankind.
I wouldn't put Cena in there.
He was very much of the scripted promo era.
Yeah.
And
I didn't like him.
Yeah.
Liking Cena is only something that's happened very recently. It's mid-2016.
Yeah.
So I would put Heyman in there.
Yeah, Heyman. Absolutely.
It depends how far you
Joe.
go back. Like WWE promos, I feel like there's a bunch. Jake the Snake,
Jake
I would
the Snake,
put in
absolutely,
there over Austin. Because although Austin was a great promo, it's not like, I don't know, he also gave us what? Rock and Punk are definitely in there for me. And then Heyman. Yeah, and Jake.
Mm-hmm.
And probably Mankind, Foley.
I'd certainly say Foley. Foley would definitely be in there because I think he was able to get a lot of real raw emotion in a lot of his promos. Vince?
Sin Cara.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lucha.
Did
or
he?
is that
No, that was
Kalisto?
Kalisto, mate. You daft
Get my
racist.
Luchas mixed up.
Jonathan Hedman says, hello, Luke, Ollie, Laurie, Pete, Val, Tim, James, Shannon, William, Theodore, Frederick, that woman in the van offering cigarettes, James, Lewis, Josh, Liam, Matthew, Brian, Ashley, Byron, Cardboard, Diesel, listeners. I think I've covered everyone. My question is, what's next for Wrestle Talk? Keep up the stellar work, and I look forward to your answer.
What is next for Wrestle Talk? Well, I'll tell you. We are having a match for the very fate of Wrestle. It's almost like that's been put in there
Just
to lead
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
We're having a match. Me and Fagador are going to go at it hard on Monday for the very fate of Wrestle Talk. We're having a match. And I don't know what's next for Wrestle Talk. These
We don't know.
Screenstalker guys are trying to assimilate the channel. So, we'll have to see what happens on Monday.
Yeah. Do you want one more question?
Yes.
Well, Cameron Sykes asks, will there be pay-per-view live streams going forward? We hope so, but WrestleMania is a very long show.
Review shows in terms
Yes, those will always be, yeah.
So maybe not the pay-per-view live streams, but we will live stream the review. It might not be... It's concurrent with the pay-per-view. So, pay-per-views Sunday night, but our review, rather than going up at 7 p.m., will be live at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm talking GMT.
Yes, absolutely. And very lastly, Razman's Reality says, hi guys, hope you're well. I've written so many questions to Luke and we'll see it for the Ramble, but these two in particular are fantasy bookings for Mania I'd like your opinions on. The first one I don't see, but I can see WWE doing it. Could WWE combine Drew versus Roman and Seth versus Brock into a fatal four-way for the Universal title? Seth feels like an afterthought to Roman since he's come back, and devaluing his Rumble win clearly doesn't matter given Becky's booking. I could just see them going this way. What are your thoughts?
I don't see them doing that. I mean, anything's possible in Vince McMahon's crazy mind at the moment.
Depends on what side of the bed he wakes up on.
Yeah, it's only 2 weeks out. I think they're more building up Drew for Roman to beat, to face Seth afterwards. I think Seth Roman is Vince's dream for the next...
I can see them, certainly a SummerSlam match,
Yeah, we'll probably have them. That will be the big storyline coming out of WrestleMania.
And his second one is, I know this one is 98% unlikely, but as Laurie said a while back, we need Becky as undisputed champion at Mania. Have her take out all the women in Tuesday's SmackDown match, challenge Asuka for doing nothing with the title that she made the talk of the industry, beat her, and then go on to win at Mania combining the championship. The same as the tag team, have one women's single title opens up feud to a slightly smaller roster and keeps away devalue that has happened with Asuka. Thoughts? I wouldn't do it with the women's title. I would do it with the tag titles, the men's tag titles. Yeah. I think I've said for a few weeks now, probably a few months, combine those two together. But I'm not for combining the women's titles together.
I think it's a good idea to give Becky some momentum because that has flattened out in recent weeks. But there are so many reasons against this. Chiefly, I know this horse has bolted, but the brand split is a thing. Yeah. And I would like them to be as distinct as possible after WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. I get that the women's titles are going to travel, but everything else I want to keep in their own little red and blue boxes. And also, there's so many women that they'll get lost in the shuffle now. I think there are enough women to have separate singles divisions on Raw and SmackDown.
They just choose not to on SmackDown, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's basically... Well, the problem is their top women on SmackDown are involved in a Raw feud. And that's why Asuka has been sort of left out in the cold, really, because they spent so much of last year building everything around Charlotte and Becky that when they gave it to Asuka in December, they were like, well, now we've got no one else. Yeah. Like, we've built no one else on the sort of like off the back of Becky and Charlotte. So our entire women's division feels like nothing. Like Naomi had no momentum, Carmella has no momentum, Fire and Desire had no momentum, and you're left with Lana. And that's it. That's your entire SmackDown women's division right there.
The Iconics.
I forgot about the Iconics. And Nikki Cross, I guess. And Lacey Evans, they're also part of SmackDown.
Yeah.
I'm probably forgetting some other people as well.
Also, I think Becky winning the title at Mania is a huge part of this story. To have her already have a title going in, I think would take away from some of that elation.
I think what Raz is getting at, though, is that then Asuka, it becomes a fatal four-way with Asuka in there as well to crown like one undisputed champion.
Oh, right, really?
Yeah, beat her.
Oh, yeah.
No. Yeah, beat her and then go on to Mania combining one champion.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I don't like either idea.
Yeah, unfortunately, me neither.
Well, that's all we've got time for today. Please click the videos that have just appeared on the desk below to catch up with your latest WrestleTalk videos, and this button right here, which will make you a pledge hammer on Patreon. Head over there to get access to our WrestleMania 20 review next week. I've been Ollie Davis, that's been Luke Owen, and that was Rambling.